Thank you very much, Cornel. Yeah, I'd love to tell you a bit more about smart cities with Earth observation and AI, at least from our perspective at Sobolt. My name is Otto. I work at Sobolt in Rotterdam. We develop innovations in sustainability in the broadest sense of the word. And for this, we typically use remote sensing data from above, from close up, from inside, from outside. And to get the maximum amount of information from all of this data, we apply deep learning algorithms and artificial intelligence. So super general, what does that mean in practice? One example where we leverage remote sensing and AI is in nature monitoring. And we see on the left aerial imagery of a nature area in the province of Overijssel. And what we can do using deep learning and AI is that we can automatically, with a relatively high degree of certainty, say what type of nature is at what location. And this gives us the opportunity to monitor really large areas in nature on a regular basis, a yearly or even semi-yearly, and provide more frequent insight into the developments in nature. So a bit closer to smart cities is that we have been using Earth observation to quantify heat islands. So I think a lot of the attendees here will be will know the urban heat island effect, where especially where there's a lot of built environment and not much green, cities tend to heat up disproportionately in the summer, and heat can get trapped there. And by measuring this and locating, let's say, hospitals or nursing homes, we can identify the vulnerable groups and really integrate this into urban planning for the city of the future. And one way that we use Earth observation quite a lot is for optimal use of urban space. Typically in the sustainability context, as I mentioned, that's where we're most active. So a very busy slide, but what we're very good at is analyzing rooftops. So looking at rooftops from above, there's a lot of information on rooftops that you can gather. And rooftops are one of the largest unused spaces in cities, because almost every square meter, especially in the Netherlands, has its use, of course. But on rooftops, there's still, if you don't have a roof terrace, a lot of space that goes unused. And the most straightforward way, of course, to use this is by placing solar panels. And by not only identifying rooftops that are suitable, but also calculating the potential, we can really help people, well, for their personal use, but also policymakers in cities to identify areas or target groups where there is a lot to be gained, and help them develop either solar rooftops, or in terms of climate adaptation, green rooftops and water rooftops are also becoming very popular. And even combinations of these are possible as well. But it all starts with gathering the information on what the potential is of each roof, and turning that into actionable information for whatever goals you might have. One topic I'd like to talk a little longer about is how we apply the same concept to help develop solar carports in cities. So solar carports, of course, are a way to leverage carports for solar energy as well. Not only does it provide energy, but it also provides shade to cars. In the Netherlands, I think Bloemendaal might be one of the more well-known examples. Of course, it's ideal to have a lot of energy on a sunny day, especially if there are a lot of electrical cars under this, which might be the case in the future. And there's nothing better than stepping in a cool car after a sunny day at the beach. So that's an added bonus. And of course, in cities, there are a lot of car parks, but typically, even the municipality does not really know exactly which car parks are where. Of course, not all of them are owned by the municipality, by the city. So different owners might own different car parks. They might be part of an industrial terrain, or they might be private parking. They might be part of a large office tower. But there's a lot of potential there for solar in the city. And the first step is localizing these parking lots. Using AI, we can scan the city from above with remote sensing data and identify all the parking lots in the Netherlands. And that's, of course, the first step to determining where you might actually be able to build a business case. The second step is that we calculate the yield, so simulating the path of the sun during the day. As you can see here, the yellow parts in the middle animation are the parts where the sun falls. So you see longer shadows in the morning, then a high sun during the day, and longer shadows in the evening. And you can see already the beginnings of a solar carport in the middle, where you, in this case, see quite a lot of yellow, which means it's quite a suitable spot to place a solar carport. That's only one piece of the puzzle, of course. You need to know what kind of solar carport would you build, so you can estimate the costs. And of course, there's lots of small factors, such as, is there a suitable place to the energy grid nearby, and what are the exact what's the exact layout of the carport. All of that together helps us build a business case. So here you see in our application, which you can actually visit if you like, parkthesun.com. One example in the Diergaarde Blijdorp in Rotterdam. One of the things you can calculate is the terugverdientijd, or the time it takes for an investment to yield its returns. I think solar panels have an average lifespan of around 20 years, so this one would be right on the edge of what would be a reasonable business case. And you see on the south and on the east side of this carport is quite some potential for shade. So I think that's the reason here why it's not optimal. Under perfect conditions in the Netherlands, you can get down to about 12 or 13 years to get your full investment, return on investment, and the rest would be return on investment in positive numbers. So this is really how we start from Earth observation and end with a concrete business case for lots of different parkings in the city, and help municipalities achieve their sustainable goals within the limited space that they have in city limits. That's what I'd like to highlight. Of course, I encourage you to learn more if you like. You can send questions in the chat here. Visit us at sobolt.com or LinkedIn. And of course, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have by email.